Crash and burn like rock and roll. Got no future, got no soul. You say you know, I say you don't know better.
Hi, I'm Mike Warren from the Academy of Martial Studies, here with a new technique for you guys today. Brought along my brother Mike to help me with this technique, and today we're going to show you something from the sport mixed martial arts side of the house. Our last video, the cover throat strike, broke down a common technique that we teach across the board to our Special Forces and Special Operations soldiers in the United States Army. That being the cover throat strike. That technique involves major trauma, major injury, and most likely death to your opponent. That's kind of frowned upon in today's mixed martial arts environment. So we decided, after reading a lot of the comments, and a lot of people are asking about our Academy warriors and how they do so well in the cage, we'd break down a technique for you guys. And we're going to start with something very common that a lot of jiu-jitsu players, sambo guys, wrestlers, mixed martial artists are very familiar with. The straight arm bar from the top mount. After we break down this technique, escape, we're going to show you how to trap someone again. So if you get someone in a straight arm bar, they start to work the primary escape that almost everyone across the board is taught. We're going to show you how to turn that one simple straight arm bar into a combination blood choke, air choke, leg lock, and straight arm bar, which is quite nice to catch a guy in. After that, we're going to show you how our bodies are trained to quickly and very easily move into these different positions. It doesn't require a lot of great flexibility, doesn't require a lot of strength, but we develop both through our proprietary training program called UFF, or Urban Fight Fit. These techniques are Tibetan Tantric Yoga based. They have plyometrics, and the best part is all of these techniques are designed to help you with your stand-up and ground fight. We use these exercises to help train Special Forces and Special Operations soldiers. I've been using them for over 12 years. So I get guys that already come to me in the absolute pinnacle of fitness and show them how they can step it up another level. On the same hand, I also get warriors back from the battlefield that have been blown up, damaged, blew out a knee, hurt something in their back, had a bad jump for the paratroopers, landed wrong. They may have had surgeries and even lost an arm or a leg. And I show them how to get back to fighting shape and back out in the front lines in no time using these exercises. So we'll demonstrate a couple of these afterwards for you to play with. And if you got any questions, as always, hit us up on tappingwillsaveyou.com. So without further ado, let's break down this technique. Hi, thanks to the magic of television and video editing, we've happened to have Mike here trapped under my top mount. Now, what we're going to do is he's going to allow me to transition to the straight arm bar because Mike's a good fighter. He knows enough to know, like, straight arm bar, I can get out of that. So we're going to show what fighters are primarily taught to do to try to keep that straight arm bar from cross-body here in control, in check, and keep their opponent in a quick submission position. We want to show you what he's going to do to get out of it. Then we're going to show you why that's about to make his day a very bad day. So, with a very simple transition, I find myself in the basic position, setting up for an arm bar. Now, I'm giving him some space here so we can kind of break down the key point. What I want you to notice is this foot here is the key technique for effectively executing this crossbody straight arm bar. This leg is secondary. In fact, a lot of the sambo methods will have this leg tucked under the torso. There's a lot of different variations on this. But the key thing is, of course, thumbs away. Normally it's into the body. As I slide, he's going to start to struggle. He starts to push this leg off. Now, notice as he pushes this leg off, he's able to sit up. This takes all the pressure off the arm. Okay? So, he started to feel some pressure, so he put it on his arm. He escapes. Oh no, what will I ever do? Well, I'm going to use this foot that I still have up on top to start making his life quite interesting. First, it's going to come in, check his shoulder by pushing him down, and slide under his head. My instep now is on the base of his skull. Same time, I'm going to hook his leg. This is going to prevent him from being able to try to change positions, twist, or roll as easily, because what we're about to do next makes everything a lot more interesting. My free leg here comes back over top, and what I'm going to do is execute a scissor choke till I feel a submission. Thanks. At the same time, my body is going to stay in close and tight, hooking his knee, executing the arm bar. If by some chance Mike's super strong or I slip and he starts to correct himself and trap his arm, I'm going to stretch up with this arm sliding under his calf on top of my outside arm with a thumbless grip over top of his toes. Now, just like a Americana armbar, I'm going to curl the toes down towards his taint. Taint quite the scrotum, taint quite the anus. Towards him, executing an ankle lock, which is another submission. So there's a lot of options from this technique. We're going to show you from the side angle here again how you can capitalize on the pain-inducing qualities of this counter to a counter. Okay, so as you get this close-up of our legs now, the first thing a jiu-jitsu fighter is going to do before he locks his knees together is try to dig this heel in behind the head. This is the key control area here to keep his torso down, which is allowing the elbow to be hyperextended by keeping the shoulder straight away from it. A lot of leverage, or as they say in Portuguese, elevante. Now Mike here pushes my foot off of his face promptly, and he's starting to work. So this far foot traps him down, comes over and under. Now the key is I want this bony instep at the base of his head. This foot that's behind his head is going to cross over. Now I did promise you a blood and air choke, so I'm going to show you how these are done. This other foot, as it comes over, is going to push his chin away. Nice. Is not kicking, stomping is really nice to do in a bad match. You want this foot to come down and dig underneath of that chin. Now, with this foot digging down, I'm trying to drive his chin to the left. It's less painful when you have this being ground on real nice and friendly like, so that the heel will start to crush in on the trachea. At the same time, the instep and my heel are going to cut across to both sides of the carotid artery. So with this foot underneath, with this foot drove deep, this is a air and blood choke. Now, if he's smart enough to look towards me and tuck his chin, this will prevent the air choke, but it exponentially increases the threshold of my leg strength and allows me to really turn this into almost a neck crank in addition to the blood choke with a very gentle squeeze. This is the power of my legs working together. This scissoring motion, many of you will find very, very familiar from another technique from the guard, for example, the scissor sweep. We'll show you that real quick just so you have an idea of how my hips are trying to engage my feet to increase my leverage on his neck. All right, so here we go with the scissor sweep. We'll pretend Mike's not there anymore. So notice the legs, as they came across, are working for each other. Now, this is a very, very powerful sweep if you were able to take advantage of your opponent's position. However, what really drives the power on this is the hip motion, not just the leg scissoring from the knee down. The same is true when we're working the same motion. I want to try to drive my hips over to capitalize on that torque on his neck. So with that in mind, experiment with this, have some fun with it. Remember, the arm gets bent and he pulls it in. You've got that leg waiting for you. You can still hook the leg up if you like as well while trapping the arm bar, and I prefer to mix the blood and air choke in with that nice nasty arm bar all at the same time, just to let Mike here know that I really appreciate you. Now let's show some of these exercises we promised. That's right, I'm kicking a telephone pole. Find out why, find out how to do it safely, find out why we prefer solid objects as a little soft, heavy bag like this, or flimsy little banana trees, and also learn how even our little 3- and 4-year-old girls and boys from our Little Rangers program are able to do this without so much as a bruise. In our next video, we'll break down some of our training secrets for ligaments, recovery, and injuries. Thanks, and as always, if you got more questions, hit us up, tappingwon'tsaveyou.com.
Eskimo in summertime, out of touch and out of time, a one-eyed man in the kingdom of blind.